Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the ESL ESEA Pro League. I'm Alex Machine Richardson, joined by Mitch Ubershouts Leslie. If you have just joined us, you missed a fantastic first game. We got to see Titan kind of have at it with TSM over on Cobble. Of course, TSM a little bit of a close one between those guys. It definitely, odds were in TSM's favour. There's no denying that one. And eventually, they managed to grind out that win. But our second game of the night poses to be no exception. It's going to be an interesting one. Mouse up against TSM over on Dust2 this time. So far, we haven't seen too much from Mouse in the Pro League.
No, not really, actually. I mean, obviously, earlier this week, they had 3 games where we saw them get a win against Titan and then a lose against them as well. So, bit of back and forth stuff there as well. That's where, of course, the Nico clip came from, with the massive plays.
Be still my heart, be still my heart. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's now every time someone seems to make a big play, you pretty much just scream, "Please don't do this to me." It's like you already have high blood pressure, and it takes a while for it to go back to normal. So in the meantime, you're just like, "Please don't kill everyone."
Yeah, and it was genuinely, Lauren was looking at me like, you're making no sense, dude. Like, why? And it's because my brain was scrambled by that. But anyway, it is time to jump on into the action. They are currently knifing TSM versus Mouse. It is on Dust2, and not too long ago, that would have been a redeeming feature for Mouse. So intrigued to see how much they can do. Of course, slightly new roster, removing Spiddy and bringing in Nico has already been quite exciting for myself and for a lot of people just to see Nico play in their roster. He's had the Mouse tagged by his name for a while, and now off the subs bench into the main roster. And we saw Spiddy actually playing yesterday in his game against Penta with their strong debut over up against Na'Vi. But that is not the story for today, as the knife does get one, and we're going to be seeing TSM start out on the defensive side. Mouse on the assault then into this one.
Now, TSM incredibly good on Dust2, except last night, obviously against NRP. Obviously, it wasn't great for them, but that was Exist and Ali just doing some seriously good work. They smashed Fnatic on Tuesday, 16-3. Last week in the Pro League, they smashed Dignitas 16-3. They're going to be strong on this map. There's no doubt about it. Let's see how they transition into those later rounds. Now, is Carrigan already getting 2 for his trouble as he's pushed up on long. And, well, he's got to wait for Mouse to pour out.
Where was that call? I mean, Godby went down, and then Chris J just walked straight back into Carrigan. I mean, he'd seen it. He'd seen exactly where Carrigan was positioned. A little bit of a slow one there from Mouse, but looks like they're going to be clawing their way back. Fortunately, Nex's aim a little too strong for Cajun and look, oh, he's done great damage as well. Zipnix and Device been chunked down to about, what, 50 points of health between them. And now, Mouse, they don't have the numbers necessarily in players, but bomb's going in. And, oh, hang on a second. This is going to be a big challenge for him. And, oh, caught in the final seconds. It was Dupree who does catch him. And now Nico in a 1v3, looking to make it 1v2. He does so. And, oh, now 1v1 Nico. A man. The myth, the legend, isn't going to be able to do it this time. Dupree, it does shut him down from long, and that's going to be the first round on the board for TSM. Can't doubt the man when he's got a pistol in his hand.
No, Dupree, that was actually 2 kills for him while his opponents were mid-air.
Yeah, that's
both
true.
times.
Yeah.
So they were both jumping up, and he's managed just to take the head clean off. As well as, I think the first kill was at 70-odd health and armored up as well, and managed to clean
New
him up.
hitboxes, that's what Dupree's in love with right now. That's 2 mid-air opponents. You wouldn't have seen that too long ago, but great to see TSM acquire that round with some mid-air fragging, and Mouse straight off that. Look at this investment. They've gone, I mean, Nico off the back of his 3 kills, he's gone straight AK.
Well, let's see what he can do with this one here. Chris J has also picked himself up a scout, and there's Tech Knives for Dennis and Godby now. They're going to be pushing towards long here, but will this work out? Godby doing work with that Tech 9, and Carrigan drops, and he was obviously that forward player on long for TSM. Chris J now wants to move up a bit. Next in mid, smoking those doors. The Deagle Blaze, of course. No other skin for that one as Cajun B gets a lovely long-range shot on towards Nico, shutting him down. But the AK going to go over towards God B now. Chris tentatively playing out a pit. And it's all 3 players from Mouse on long, so they're committed to a certain extent here, because Zipnix can always rotate back through mid on towards short. He's going to make his way there now, but they're going to cross anyway through the smoke. Cajun B spraying, but to no avail here. Next, moving very slowly, actually. Hasn't rushed up onto that one. He doesn't know who's waiting on short, and Cajun B will throw a smoke of his own. Looks like a stack on towards the site coming up, but there's Next doing work, taking down Cajun B. He's up on the site now, and the bomb is in his hands. We'll try and get it down.
The TSM opportunity for the elevator has been taken away. The boost is not possible, but wow, jumping from Dupree does find himself a frag, an important one at that, because now Godby and Chris J low on health, actually in pretty poor positions as well. The bomb is not ideal for Chris J sitting long with the scout. Now Godby is going to be challenged up, but Chris J does get the trade, and the bomb, he knows it's not ideal. Oh, it could have been beautiful. There's Zipnix and Device, they were right there lining up for him. But fortunately, we do see him go down. A defuse coming in as well. A kitless defuse just to rub salt into the wound, and that's going to be TSM's second.
Yeah, I mean, despite the bomb going down, Godby actually had the Tech 9 in hand, and he didn't cross across that CT opening while the smoke was still up. He stayed back and couldn't do much to help the side. mousesports had one on the side, one halfway down long, and one in pit, so they weren't set up to really work together as much as they would have liked. The bomb position was okay for Chris J, but still, the 2-stack for TSM on there was good, and this is just the dream start for solo mid now. Chris J again going for that scout. Next, with an AK in his hands as well, and Mouse are forcing this one up quite a lot.
I mean, that's crazy. AK and Scout second round, now third round. We've got a Galil, an AK, and a Scout in play. Mouse are not going to be going for the just the pure pistol, the purist CSGO style of play, but instead, oh wow, 2 bullets and a kill. For Cajun B, very efficient as Chris J does bite back with his Scout. He's going to catch a glimpse of one as well through doors. Looks like the flash is going to be coming in from his teammate as Chris J looking to go aggressive, just snatches the M4 and is looking to find Cajun B and does so. That is beautiful stuff. As now mousesports, they have an advantage. They are all armored to the 9s. And it's just a decision now. Where do they want to go? They know they've got the CT scattered. Those 2 frags in middle have done great work for them in keeping TSM kind of locked in to those positions. And actually, I think Chris J's anticipating this from Carrigan. Oh, does big damage, not enough. As Carrigan's MP9 nets him the kill.
Godby was the one dispatched to try and deal with that one there. Now, actually, mousesports smoked up CT, but they didn't make any sort of rash moves towards that B site. They're respecting Dupree's position. Carrigan's moving back now in towards CT, and Mouse are in this 3v3 now. Carrigan went low with 10 health. Godby, with the Tech 9, would have been enough now, but he's actually snatched himself up an M4, and they're going to work towards short here. Slowly, but surely, it's just Zipnix on 8.
Yeah, Zipnix could be in trouble because of Nico's molly. Look at this. Throws it completely clears him. He's forced to just be either locked in with this flash or go open. Nico's molly does all the damage necessary. Worthwhile investment for him. That's now all on to Dupree. He's locked out from the smoke. Beautiful implementation of their nades there from Mouse, using what they had to the very best they could. And now the 3 players are going to lock themselves in and make sure that that bomb cannot be defused. Dupree knows it as well. He's just going to go ahead and just hold something towards long. And mousesports, they've been applying pressure relentlessly on towards TSM, and by constantly putting whatever they could into their hands, it's netted them at quite an early round.
Carrigan got completely nullified there as well. He was in CT. I don't think his position was overly aggressive, but he got taken out very quickly, and now it's just Dupree, who, of course, who's just sitting inside that long hall. And he will wait. We call it bedroom back in Australia. I'm pretty sure that's not relevant here.
Where's the bed?
Yeah, I don't know why bedroom. I have no idea why. It's just something that it's just
I'm fine with
it. It doesn't look exactly homely. It looks like a really average B&B in a third world country. But
I wouldn't want to stay there. I'll be honest. But maybe that's just what you Aussies are
open
up
roof
for.
experience, right? You can see the stars
you
at
can
night.
sell it. You're a salesman, Mitch. I like it. Either way, we are going to be seeing still an absence of rifleless rounds as both teams this time going to be equipped. Chris J, a scout no less, and is going to be trying to catch someone on the cross. Not going to find it just in this one. As there's something a bit different from Mouse this time. They're seizing mid-control, but this time through lowers.
Yeah, and being very passive as well on long. Nex is not even pushing through. Let's see what Dennis can do. Speaking of salesmen, see if they can sell the Kipper here in mid. Chris J takes down Cajun B. That's an important kill on short. But they're not going to be, hurrying themselves about this one. I think Dennis will make his way up there eventually. Zipnix on your screen now. A little bit nervous. He's actually very aggressive positioning for him as well here. He's going to be waiting for the push. It's a good flash there. Dennis rounds the corner. And then straight back down the stairs as well. Mouse just varying their pace here, slowing it up a little bit for the moment. Seeing if Dupree actually show themselves here. Let's see if they make a mistake. Zipnix will be watching as well from short. Well, watching towards short.
TSM have changed their positioning as well. And Chris J! You can see why he's so comfortable on the scout. That's going to be a potential third no. Zipnix does shake his head, but still 2 crucial frags. Device and Cajun B now sleeping with the fishes, all because of Chris J and his scout. And now Mouse have put 2 and 2 together. They realize there is 2 on A, and now all on to Dupree on B. Gonna actually go aggressive. Interesting from him. Flash his way out, but all he's gonna do is give Mouse a whole lot of intel fast. Dennis gets the frag, and now all onto Zipnix to try and mop up, and he's not done a too shabby a job. The floor is starting to spark, and it's gonna continue, just narrowly missing out on the Dennis frag there. 1 point of health left for that individual, and that's going to be then 2-2 as mousesports, after a rather hard graft, find the second.
You've got to appreciate Chris J here as well. He's constantly forcing up, or at least in that round as well.
That's
didn't have enough for it all.
3 rounds.
More than happy to take the scout, and that's 2 rounds off the back of that for mousesports as well. He really opened things up on towards short, giving mousesports some freedom to move here, and they are taking it and running with it at the moment. Now he's got the AWP in hand, looking towards mid, will not connect, but it's aggressive push from TSM here on long.
I like this. It's going to be Carrigan and Cajun B the ones trying to apply some pressure, and pressure will be thrown right back in their face thanks to that nade. Dennis is going to find Device holding that close angle. It's very clear already as to what TSM's plans were here. Try and catch someone out early. Not going to be happening, as Nex was happy to babysit the top of... I'm going to call it bedroom. There you go.
Oh, don't. Just don't.
Xyp9x and Dupree, though, in the meantime, are going to be doing something and getting some damage done on towards Mouse. This is all right from TSM. Certainly less than perfect, though, as another man does bite the dust. All onto Xyp9x as he recovers himself a molly and an AK. But the bomb's going down over on towards B, and I think this is going to be a very comfortable third for Mouse. Maybe, just maybe, be able to catch Nex out here if he's a little lucky. Oh, it was such a nice angle, but Nex, of course, having the Kevlar is going to be able to thrive there. And that's 3 for him in that round. Recovers the AWP, and all is good in the hood for mousesports.
3 on the trot here for mousesports, and solo mid now. Well, a little bit mollified, I think, at this stage. We're going to see some armor coming up, at least for Dupree at the moment. I would say, apart from that, a little bit of a save for them here. So going for double.
That's a lot of deagles.
Yep.
There you go, the Penta-Deeg.
I think it's just a shout-out to Nico here. Let's see if they can emulate him, though, at all. Xyp9x pushing up on long. Not too far. The nade will go in. Again, mousesports are playing this fairly slowly.
The age of the Deagle is nigh, it seems. There's more and more as time progresses. We're seeing more Deagles and more Deagle frags. Chris J this time is the one to go down. Bite the dust too. Now, it's going to be Dennis who just flicks back, finds 2 very quick frags. That's long, completely deleted. And TSM are going to have to rotate accordingly because the numbers are starting to stack up. And Xyp9x, he's starting to run out of fingers and run out of bullets to try and count them on the cross.
There's a gap in the smoke. Oh, he doesn't quite connect on towards Nico. Godby is also through that one. Now just going to spam a few through, but Dupree is going to now contribute with that AWP. 3v3 situation, but mousesports have the guns, and now they're starting to gain that position. Device is trying to do some work as well from short as Dennis picks up Dupree. And Device looking straight down mid.
Dennis is third as well. As now the bomb is going to be going in. It's just going to be then Xyp9x as Device is kind of going on a roaming mission to recover that AWP of Dupree. And it's just going to be a case of, go on Xyp9x, do what you can with your 14 points of health and your Deagle. And it's going to be probably Nex who hunts him down. He does so, and that's going to be mousesports happy to take the 4th. And actually, whoa, Device going a little overly aggressive, peeking, desperately just trying to take something away from Mouse, but I think he's going to be much more happy keeping and preserving that AWP investment. And okay, just narrowly starting to run away. I don't know whether or not he's actually going to be allowed to get away with this one. Nico's on the hunt, on the prowl, and Device does narrowly get away in towards uppers. Dennis is going to greet him, and this is just going to be a bit of a bloodbath. And Device desperately holding on. He gets the 2nd, and I think he's just about done it. Has, heating up. Does actually get a couple of exits. Takes the rifles away from Mouse, and nice survival done there from Device.
Imagine at least keep a lid on mousesports right now, economically speaking. And they will be able to buy some as well. Here's the double AWP from TSM. Wow, I want to see how this works.
Went from 5 AWPs, rather 5 Deagles to 4 AWPs currently on the map. See where these 2 teams choose to position them.
Right, the Device actually aggressively poking mid, doesn't manage to find Dennis, I think it was there, as Cajun B has dropped down. Now looking through those doors. Chris J as well has already made his way up on towards short. Pressuring at every turn solo mid now as Carrigan will be the one to watch this one. Device is also down in CT. TSM definitely leaning towards, looking towards short here. And Device has done well. It takes down Nico. There's a bit of Molotov fire on short as Carrigan is ready to receive this push. It'll be Dennis, Nex, and Chris J to make that one if they do choose to. And Xyp9x isn't too far away as well. He's on long. Godby may even make his poke around there momentarily.
Yeah, so Mouse, they kind of considered short play, but I think they've been thrown away by TSM Smoke, at least delaying them to some extent, because the bomb is actually backing up towards long. I think that's going to be their point of execution. Xyp9x the man that's waiting. He's holding the angle tight, hoping and praying it's going to be a mousesports head that just walks into that crosshair. But 39 seconds, they could be running out of time here, especially if Xyp9x does that. Godby down, and now that's a problem.
Carrigan also not too far away as well. Xyp9x will just be able to get the spray down. Chris J goes down, and there's no warps left for mousesports here. Just the 2 AKs. Nex is now, we've got no other choice but really to push out on towards short, but Carrigan will be waiting for him there with the AWP. This is super risky for the man. He can't go forward. He can't go back. He's down if he does and doesn't, but he still finds Xyp9x nonetheless. Now, what can Dennis do now as he pushes on towards long? It's a great combination there. He did chip in to pick up Carrigan. Device is the only man standing. 9 seconds left, and the bomb is still on long.
I think Device is just going to be playing the game of survival. He's going to very, very well, considering just how powerful Dennis can be. It's been truly influential in this game. We are going to be seeing TSM find their second round, time being their best friend in this one, as well as, of course, that bomb's positioning. That bomb wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for Zipnik. So he is definitely the one to point out in that round. Two very nice frags. You can see Gobby just walked straight on in to his crosshair, and he found a second not too long after on towards Chris J. So very, very nice, comfortable hold on towards long. That's going to be TSM closing that gap now to 3.
No flashes are available for Mouse there as well. Nothing they could use to maybe force a positional change there from Zipnik. So they fall right into that one here. And let's see now how this next one goes. This Device, he's looking towards mid. Chris J is not too far as well. But Nico and Dennis, they're going to be poking those doors in just a second. What can they do with this? A flash comes out. Cajun B cleverly moves away as Device takes down Nico. And all of Mouse are concentrated towards mid.
Locked out, you would think, by that smoke throwing a molly of their own, as Gobby gets a little bullet of motivation in the back from Dennis, who has been a fragging presence so far here on Dust2. Got 10, and actually Device has just got a second tag. That nade could be perfect. It is! Clips next, it's all it needs. And that's 2 members of the Mouse Squadron down already. And now it's a problem. Trying to execute on towards that ace site, an ace site stacked by 3 defenders, no less. With just 3, it's not going to be easy.
Well, let's see now. KGB will be holding from that side. He does see Chris J, and he does line him up perfectly. A flash on towards the remaining Mouse players. There goes Dennis. Will he make it a third? You better believe it. Cajun B, he's in the house.
Just Device and Cajun B necessary then to acquire that round. Beautiful stuff from the Danes as they do find 4. 4-4 now here. And it's going to be an eco for the German side as well. Coming in to this one. This is where things slow down. This is where you're going to expect TSM to play and try and keep the T side at arm's length, because as soon as that Glock train starts moving, if a couple of frags get exchanged, horrible things can happen. And so you're going to see TSM, you would expect, go for something different. And look at that, they straight away are all up to B. That's not something we've seen from TSM before. 3 players ready and waiting to receive anything on towards B initially, and now they start to rotate back for that mid hold.
Yeah, mousesports not opting for any sort of stack or a Glock train, as it were, in this one here. You can see they do have a couple P250s in hand, and they are looking towards mid. But the bomb is down in mid as well. And well, Device and Cajun B are both watching this one from mid as well. Device just wanting to connect on towards those doors. The Deagle comes straight out, and that's quick draw McGraw for you, ladies and gentlemen. It's just Dennis left. And he is, well, just chilling in tunnels right now. He's, there's not much he can really do from this position, obviously, especially with Device watching like a hawk in mid.
Something quite satisfying about a Deagle headshot, really is. Just the sound, everything combined. And when you get 5, something quite magical does happen. Now, though, Dennis, he's got so little to work with. He knows that this round is going to be coming to a close. It's just a question of who will do it. The answer is Zipnix, as TSM do take the lead for, well, the first time since the 3rd. As they just see them acquire the first 2 rounds off the back of the pistol. And now we have finally seen them seize control once again. There it is.
The double stack, man. 2 warps towards mid as well. I mean, Device obviously not opting for his one there. I'm surprised we didn't see Tumbleweed and like the whistling in the background of like the showdown. It wasn't much of a showdown there because that draw was very, very quick on the man. But here we go, Mouse with 3 players heading towards tunnels. Nex and Gobby are hanging back a little bit here. You can see now a little bit more of a delayed work towards mid on this eco for Mouse. They've got 3 Tech 9s and a couple Deagles. They do have some flashes and smokes to work with, but it's how that they're employed that will be more important.
Yeah, this does start to look like a bit of a mid to B setup, and there it goes. The flashes and everything. Chris J, he caught a glimpse of a CT, needs to finish the job. Finally he does, as it's going to be Dennis's job finished. Beautiful from Chris J. He finds 2, and actually Nico's gone and done what Nico does best with the Deagle. Cajun B now down, and this round, it's a force no less. Just pistols and armor for the majority. Starting to shape up pretty nicely for Mouse. Bomb down, and now Zipnix and Carrigan have got a bit of a mountain to climb, and oh no, one of the climbers is now no more, and now all onto Carrigan. He's been tagged up heavily by Nex, and I think he's going to finish the job with the FAMAS. He does. What a round from Mouse.
Yeah, I mean, Device did get 1 kill there, but the AWPers in the mid getting completely surprised by that push out there. We said the last round, will we see a Glock train? Will we see some aggression? This is Chris J here. Device got the first kill. He gets finished off, and then Dupree straight towards the head with that Tech 9. Exactly how it's done. I'm not sure they're ready for such aggression, especially since Device, I think it was Dupree earlier on, were able just to watch towards mid and get the double.
Now then, double AWPs on either side once again. It's always interesting to see if anyone can survive the cross, and indeed 2 did. Dupree and Device still kicking after the start there for Mouse. And actually, a couple of changes on the side of TSM. No more is Cajun B on short. Instead, Zipnix has taken the helm there. They've swapped around, and you can see why, because Cajun B has just connected over towards Dennis on long.
Well, with Dennis being down, Carrigan has also got himself set up in pit there. Zipnix is watching. Device through mid. Just took down Nico as he's pushing down. But now Mouse actually using this maybe little opening here to make their way through. Chris J on towards short. You see him now going to make a push on towards this one. He's going to force Zipnix off the balcony. Now he's going to come forward aggressively. Cajun B, is he ready for this? Just a little bit of baiting from Chris J at the moment. Might try to sell something. And maybe come back through mid, but Device is there. This double AWP setup is proving to be really oppressive for mousesports.
Yeah, they are just keeping them locked out, and Device actually narrowly missing out one. Gonna pay the price as Nex wins out, and the AWP, the AK duel. Nice angle being held by Zipnix. In fact, he's looking to try and adopt something better as the smoke does come out, and damage is done. Just 2 members left, made 1. As Nex with no health left, no hope really, as Zipnix is looking to finish the job, and it's going to be his teammate Carrigan who does do that. So 6-5 then, as this one is being kept nice and close, and you're right, the double AWP setup is responsible for a whole lot of this kind of, well, both early pressure, but these late game rounds, these late kind of last 20-30 seconds, Mouse have very little room to maneuver because of those early frags. And
the economy's a little bit skewed at the moment for mousesports. You see that Chris J had quite a lot, and they are just going to go for a save here. So again, on Dennis, Godby and Chris J, there are some nades, a couple flashes as well, Armor and Tech9. They had good success with this push before, but this time TSM Device is not taking any prisoners as he shoves his way down mid. But here's the B push. Dupree will be sitting in the back of the side, and there comes some players. He didn't actually manage to connect that first few shot, and there it is. Device now chiming in on B. Doesn't matter where the man is, he's getting fragged. Dupree also behind the boxes, just gets one with the M4. Now got the USP out through smoke. There's plenty of smoke, but it doesn't matter. Cajun BC straight through that one and gets the finish on towards Nico.
Device has been the force to be reckoned with. That's an extra 2. So from 14 to 16 now he resides. Look at that. Almost double what his teammates are bringing into the equation so far. And on the other side of mousesports, Godby not really bringing too much to the fray in terms of frags. Just the 1 so far in our 12 rounds so far here on Dust2.
I really do think, and not being an expert myself, I really do think that TSM's double AWP setup is one of the most potent that we have in CSGO at the moment. Either Device or Cajun B are incredibly potent in that particular role here. So Chris J has one of his own, but Cajun B is just going to shut him down immediately.
That does remind me of what Moses said over in Dubai. His main point was that TSM has the best Dust2 in the world at this point. That was his comment, and you know what?
They smashed Virtus Pro 16-3 when they were there. So.
Absolutely, but it's just crazy to see that like the way that they structure it is so, not reliant, but it does most definitely work so much better when you have the AWP in the hands of both Device and Cajun B, especially on that CT side. This is going to look more like to shape up like a standard short execute, something we haven't actually seen too much from Mouse since the pistol.
Tempo definitely being halted slightly here. It's going to be the same trio of Carrigan, Cajun, and Zipnix that's going to be over at A here. So Mouse, there's no free pass in towards this site here. They have to set this one up nicely. They do have a Molotov on God B. Look out for that one being used just to try and clear Zipnix out. But he's actually sitting right back towards Goose there. So not really exposed right now. Fairly passive setup here. Cajun B's just watching the slight angle from Carr. And Dupree, well, he's also just taking his time there as well. I
like that angle from him. That's basically keeping his teammates safe and enables him to see right over the smoke. This is very nice. It does mean mousesports could get caught out here.
There we go now. Dupree making some shots. He had the perfect position. He does take down Nico. He should have possibly seen through that, but there's still 2 Mouse players pushing up towards B. But Device, he'll be ready. Doesn't get the kill, but Zipnix does. Godby over the top there. Through the little gap, takes him down. And he's just the only player. He gets the plant. That's something as Carrigan pushes out. And it was Dupree who silences Godby.
Making the best out of a bad situation there for Godby as he's got like sweat on his brow, desperately trying to get the last digit in. He does manage to get that bomb down, but that is going to be the 8th for TSM. And you're right, the map is quite literally sliced in 2, and there is a 3-2 split between them. It's Device and Dupree, the double Ds, who are left to their own devices between mid and B.
We'll do have a pause here, of course, as mousesports having lost one of their players. So we can, I guess, take a moment to just have a look at things as well. I mean, 6 out of the last 7 rounds have gone towards Team Solo mid. They definitely seem like they've woken up a bit more off the back of Device as well. And I think that coincides as well with their more prolific employment of this double AWP setup as well. Don't want to harp on it, but again, like they have a lot of freedom with Device being able to hold mid so well. Cajun B can be at A. He's not aggressive play as well. He's poking some fairly passive angles, just holding. And mousesports are just breaking like waves upon rock right now. It almost seems like they're splintering themselves rather than Team Solo mid breaking them down.
Yep. These next 2 rounds are kind of crunch time, though, because you better believe that 10-5 sounds an awful lot worse than 8-7. And now, keeping my eyes on the prize, it does look like we're going to be seeing something different from Mouse. You said that Carrigan and Cajun B have been a force to be reckoned with on long, and we know that from experience. And just having that AWP trained on that location, it's just terrifying because, you know, if you get past KGB, congratulations, but Karrigan's waiting for you, and they're not going to be doing it because Nico immediately does go down. And that you said before, Karrigan's there to babysit, gets two for himself. Now they back away, and TSM, doesn't matter where you try, doesn't matter where you approach them. And hang on a second, we need to address this because Chris J, he's walked into B, and Dupree must have walked straight past him. They must have quite literally just got a whiff of each other through
I've seen
smoke.
something like this on Reddit before. Yeah, there it is. All right, so Chris going to be able to pick up a device there. He doesn't know that there's players for TSM in mid here, so he has to be careful. Dupree walked straight past him, so he might be as unaware as Dupree is now. But there's the shots coming in. Got big, perfect stuff on towards the head of Zipnix there. Just snapped him right up, but unfortunately Dupree will have to put a damper on things there and take him out.
Dupree, they quite literally must have pushed through that smoke at the same time. Love to see that one again, but it does mean now that that's going to be 9. mousesports going to be desperate to try and get that 6th on the board before they swap sides. And I mean, so far, it has been a bit of a tough one for them. You've seen them try mid, you've seen them try short execute, you've seen them try long. Majority of the time, unless they get the opening pick, hang on a second, Device looking towards suicide. Every single time Device has kind of got that opener, that's when we see Mouse hit the brakes, and that's when we see the rounds kind of not go their way. And there it is, Device finds the opener this time, going aggressive towards lowers, and now Mouse hit the brakes.
Well, Cajun B there as well. These AWPs are doing so much work for TSM right now. Device aggressively peeking that one. Dennis will now drop. It's just got B left because that's 4 kills between the AWPers this round. And got B will be able to respond on towards Device, but can he get the second? No. He's slightly tagged up. He's going to head straight towards short. It looks like he wants to take this battle here against Cajun B. I don't know anyone would really want to do that. Even on a good day with a no-scope gets the job done. Zipnix now will push towards him with a CZ and Karrigan to finish the job. This is what I'm saying. I don't really think mousesports have a response to this double AWP setup, and they had this same problem the other night as well when they played. I mean, Chris J trying to break down the double AWP setup of Titan, I think it was, on Keish, and he couldn't do it.
Interestingly enough, you know, Mouse, they don't really have that option on their roster. I have no doubt that there is someone else that can kind of wield the AWP. I've seen Nico on more than one occasion pick up the AWP for himself, and I believe it was Kenny S who not recently, or quite a while ago actually, was quoted as saying that Nico is one of those AWPers that he feared playing up against when he did have the option to pick it up. And now, with just 5 rounds acquired on that T side, mousesports are going to have to do something special. And I mean, once the ball got rolling, once TSM got that double AWP in play on the CT side, there was very little that Mouse could do, and that was evidenced by the how many consecutive rounds we saw. It's like 6 or 7 by the end of that one.
Now, mousesports have tried the double AWP here as well. It just hasn't seemed to have worked out in such a good way, but they do obviously move towards the CT side now, so pistol does begin. A little bit of harassment going on towards long there as Nico took down Zipnix. God B now as well in the pit. Chris J going to make his way in towards mid here. Does see a couple players who's forced to back up there, but he's so sharp on towards a head of Device to pick him up. 3v5.
Okay, Mouse. Really damage done, and that does hamstring the assault. Is now TSM probably considering a pressure through mid, and Chris J is going to be the one to welcome them with open arms and headshots as he does take Karrigan down and out of the Danish equation. And now just Dupree and Cajun B left to finish this one.
Chris J does go down as Cajun B, at least able to trade into that sort of situation here. Where will they go? Maybe short? It's just Nico currently on A right now. God B is trying to make a bit of a flank as well through mid. I don't know how fast it's going to be, if he's going to catch them. Not at this stage, at least. So Nico now to receive. He's still full health, still full armor, in a decent position. I think he'd like to play from here normally, but here comes TSM. He gets dinked. He's down towards 1 health now, but he does get Cajun B. He's going to wait for some backup surely now as he does duck away. The flash will subside. There's a second one now as well. Jeez, Dupree getting quite aggressive. He will be able to pick that one up. Only a little bit of health left, but it's a 1v3 now. Dupree trying to get the plant down. Next, trying to deny that one. He can.
Didn't manage to get the bomb down. Dupree actually opted to cancel the plant in order to try and go for the 1v3. Maybe, just maybe, if it had held that, he could have got that down and aided his team with some money. But no, instead, we are just going to go ahead and see this one start to go the way of mousesports on the CT side. Getting the first round is important. Let's see if they can build off the back of that one. They're looking to do that quite heavily, actually. Look at this SMG buy. We're going to see 3 equipped for them into the second round. And TSM looking a little bit armored. Helmet for 3 of them, and Dupree deletes God B right off the bat.
It's a good start there for Team Solo Mid. It is obviously 2 deagles for them right now. The CZ and a couple smokes here, so not a huge amount of utility for them. Mouse do have, I guess, the advantage at least in the early stages, but losing that one player. Let's see now how TSM exploit that. They're trying to poke and prod, they're trying to create an opening, but Mouse, now Chris J being brought up in towards CT to try and bolster those forces here at A. He does have a P90. See what he can do from it there as well. He doesn't want to really take any duels at length with that one now. Nico actually got himself an M4, but here's the push from TSM now out and towards short. A little bit of damage done by Chris J. Traded in. Smoke is going to come up as well. Carrigan went low. Mouse is going to be able to finish the job. Device goes down as well. And there it is. mousesports getting it done with Zipnix to fall. Only Cajun B is left now after Dennis gets the job done. I think he's about to drop himself as well. Is he Cajun B? Yes. He'll go. And a fairly clean anti-eco there coming out from Mouse, or a fairly clean second round. It's going to need more than that though as well. Let's think about it. I mean, it's... The burst from Mouse is coming in fairly isolated situations. In the last half, they managed to pick up a 3, and there's Dupree doing just Dupree things.
Yeah, very, very quick dispatch of God B. And now we're just going to have to go ahead and wait for our mouse, our missing mouse, before we get back into the action. But I mean, you know, that's exactly how TSM started. They got the first 2 rounds, and then mousesports started to find their footing when they were on the attack. So intrigued to see where TSM choose to take this round, especially considering their money they did force into that round. So we're going to be seeing them a little under-geared.
Well, I mean, definitely what I want to see as well, once we come around to those buys, we're going to see Solomid go straight for the double orb, try and save a little bit for that. I mean, looking at money at the moment, it's hard to really discern if...
I'm not sure if they're... if they use the double up as much on that T side. It is, I mean, especially on Dust2, you usually want to rely a little bit more on those rifles, as finding picks can be difficult, can pose a bit of a difficult task. Unless you're capable of finding that pick at long consistently, or even just doing damage on the early cross.
Can be a bit of a coin toss going towards long, I guess, on that T side. mousesports waiting for their next player as well. And it's only the second game of the night as well, so we've still got a couple more to come. And mousesports, again, you know, for them, it's been a little while since we've seen them on Dust2, where they haven't played it actually in this season of Pro League. Not yet, anyway. So. Of course, they did beat Winterfox and Liquid to qualify for DreamHack Cluj, so they're through to that one. Unfortunately, Penta not so lucky. That's why we've seen the changes from them. Trying to gather as much experience as they can. And important to note as well that mousesports' statistics on Dust2 aren't terrible, but a lot of their wins are coming against what you would probably call Tier 2 opposition.
Yeah, I mean, so far, Mouse not been having the greatest couple of weeks. Just recently, in fact, off the back of yesterday, earlier on this evening, we saw them play up against CSGO Lounge over in Sevo and lost that one out. I think it was in two in a best of 3 over on Overpass and Cobblestone. So really not been finding footing so far in the past few weeks. Now though, TSM bringing very little to the battle, and it's going to be very clear the mousesports are going to be shredding them down. Next with his P90, Chris J rocking the MP9, and they're just taking pocket change gifted to them by the Danes here. Now just all on to Cajun B, and he's only got 9 points of health.
That's right, he'll just hang on there and see what he can possibly do. So mousesports, unsurprisingly, they will be able to win that one out, and when we do go in towards our buy rounds. So this is what I want to see. Solo mid, see what they're going to go for. It's just Carrigan actually going to go for the AWP in this situation. No Cajun B, no device with that one. I'm
not going to speak too soon, but I do still see an SMG for Chris J.
And next.
Yeah, yep, okay. Rocking it. They know they're going to be going up against some form of full buy, you would assume. And no, rocking a P90 and an MP9 then here on the CT side. Probably going to be holding some close angles. Dennis is the one wielding the AWP here as he looks to try and keep B safe and sound. In the meantime, Chris J anticipating that flash towards short, ready to flick and frag TSM member.
Zipnix and Nico just trading out here at length, and it was actually Carrigan's push really aggressively through mid as well. Bear in mind, he's the man with the AWP right now. He's trying to create some sort of opportunity, but there's Chris J, was ready to turn around, but not quite fast enough. A device to pick him up. Now got B. He no one likes to be in CT in this sort of situation, especially when people are moving towards A, but that is where he is, and Carrigan will make his way out on towards there. Nico there, couple of little cheeky shots. He will be able to pick up device, but he has to deal with Carrigan. And maybe he knows that he's going to back away a little bit here. See what he can do. Zipnix was also threatening. He's been there all round. Flash came in, and the bomb goes down. Very slow from mousesports here. Yeah,
this retake's going to have to be swift, though. Try and pick up the pace somewhat. 3 members of them all looking to come from CT area. Nico's the only force coming from long. You would expect finally going to be making the move, as Zipnix has done the same. Backed away, and actually Dupree is the one to come alive. Finds 2 very quick frags, and looking now to find his third, as it's actually going to be Cajun B. Finally, Dupree does connect his third, and Carrigan's having issues. Now, on to Nico. He found 2, realized his time is of the essence to just get out of there and maintain what he can. As Zipnix kept him... I mean, that was actually mind games from Zipnix. He was present on long for so long, finally saw that Nico was checking him, and he just went for the long rotate, playing the long game back towards short in order to make sure Nico didn't have that presence of mind. And so it is going to be then 8-11 as another pause. This is our third pause so far. I'm wondering who we have lost this time.
I mean, I'd love to see statistics on retake percentages when you're playing out from CT as well onto the A site. Because it really seems very, I guess, oppressive to play out from that position as well. And Dupree was quite happy. I think he was sitting on short in that case as well. Managed to pick up 3 fairly easy frags as Mouse pulled out.
Yeah, that's the beauty of CT, is that it does enable you to have some fantastic angles if there is a presence, like an enemy T presence in mid, or if they're going for like a mid to B. That's why it's such a common spot. I mean, you look at Freakazoid CT over for Cloud9, and every round he will play CT to some degree. And now the problem on the other foot, on the other side of things, is that as soon as the bomb goes down on A, you are a sitting duck. You're either coming from short, or you're going to have to make the tough push over towards elevator.
Yeah, I mean, it's a height advantage as well that you're always having to fight up against, especially if you've had mid denied away from you. But again, mousesports will have to be looking for their 5th player here as he does drop. Team Solomid obviously picking up that last round here as well. So that's their first round of this half. And as you can see, they have been able to keep the money flowing, as it were. No AWPs for them this time around. On the scoreboard, Dupree performing very nicely. The rest of TSM also, not too much variance between those scorelines.
A reminder for you guys as you are waiting to see this action unfold. There's more CS on the way. We have Dignitas versus Fnatic going to be our 3rd game of the evening. Going to be great to see the other Danes try and battle it out. It's always interesting to see like their rise to power, because they are sitting currently, I mean, you know, with the whole imbalance with matches played, but they are sitting around 5th place currently in the Pro League in our standings. So it's going to be great to see Dignitas going up against Fnatic, and just to see if a well-performing Dignitas and a slightly underperforming Fnatic poses us with a fantastic game over on Mirage.
Absolutely, and it'd be good to see how Mirage actually sort of plays out. I mean, yeah, Dignitas on Mirage as well hasn't exactly been Supercell. They actually lost to Immunity. Come on, boys. But they still qualify for DreamHack Cluj, but during that qualifier, they lost that one as well. Also, DreamHack London, they played that twice and lost to TSM and Envy 16-6 for both of those ones. So we'll get on towards that one. I would say it's a terrible map as well, but Dignitas are still yet to really establish themselves as a true driving force. I think they've got to grind out a few more games, and Fnatic as well will be desperately seeking that win to get themselves up and going.
Yeah, I mean, they could be quite a fall from grace if we do see Fnatic not holding that top spot. TSM are kind of hunting them down at this point, and this win would most definitely put them another step closer to that. And then the final game of the night will be Dignitas up against mousesports. So getting to see the form in which mousesports are in will be most definitely interesting for me. I mean, there are still some kind of question marks surrounding Dignitas. I mean, you know, one of the things being this whole Schneider edition pimped out on the AWP. We'll talk about all of that a little later, because I do think it's time for us to turn our attention back to the game. mousesports going to be going up against a fully bought TSM, and we have got our final man back in the server. I think he's having a few connection issues, and hopefully we can see them resolved.
Well, this is a full buy for Mouse as well, if you look at the money. So they can get themselves all in sundry pretty much ready to go here. So an important round as well, as they want to just sort of keep solo mid within arm's reach here. Obviously losing that last round, they can still go for the buy here. We are waiting for clearly some connection issues to be addressed for one of these mousesports players here as well. And better to sort them out now than later on, as they do still have some matches to play tonight. It'll be interesting to see how they go. Obviously, mousesports currently in 8th place in our league. They're 3 wins and 4 losses. And TSM, before tonight at least, were in 3rd with 5 and 2. In that peloton, as I call it, as to use a cycling reference, I guess.
That. Okay, you know, like steal that one.
You know, obviously a lot of teams are still sort of at 5 and 2 at this point. And as I said, Dust2 for TSM last night was where NIP actually managed to beat them on there as well. Existent Alu really firing in their map. But still, I wouldn't be counting TSM out on this one as well. Yeah, the score is looking quite close, and I attribute that in a big way to mousesports as well. No one's really saying that you know, Nico's been a bad addition, of course, coming in from the sub. I mean, the other night, obviously going 1-1 against Titan as well, there were some issues that were started to sort of be exposed for mousesports. But again, they're just trying to get as much practice as they can, of course, before the next major. This ain't a bad way to do it.
Just around the corner.
Yeah, it is.
That's going to be really worth a watch, and keep your eyes locked on TSM as well, as they are still battling for that major victory. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride at this point. But away from the game then, it seems, because these guys are still having some connection issues. We're just waiting on, I think, well, I'm seeing Chris J and Nex are the ones that haven't bought, so that's always my assumption that those are the guys that are having issues. So instead, Mitch, they're probably wondering who the hell you are, dude. They're like, who is this beautiful Australian man that has invaded our stream? So, I mean, you've been having fun over the last couple of days?
Absolutely. It's been really good to get to jump into some CSGO stuff here as well. Obviously, I did a fair bit of it over in Australia.
Yeah, what were you doing over in Oz? Because, I mean, the Australian CS scene, is it not just casting a whole lot of Renegades immunity?
It was. Well, it was Vox Seminole immunity back then.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so it did a couple of things as well. Like our main events, I guess, were sort of run by Cybergamer, which is a platform over there.
I used to use Cybergamer, yeah.
Now, obviously, with ESL over there, they're doing some more stuff. But the Fnatic Azubu Masters was good fun. We actually had Devil Walking Khan come down. We casted some show matches, did a bit of that. And, of course, as well, the Australian CS scene is incredibly volatile and always changing. For a long time, it was always Vox Seminole or Renegades, as we now know them. Now, Immunity is stepping into the limelight as well. And, of course, there's some teams that are really quite close behind as well. So, hard for me to sort of be away from all that action as it happens, but I'm pretty pumped to be here as well. And hopefully, for you guys as well, I've enhanced your viewing experience a little bit because I'm definitely pumped to be here. Now, we're going to be into this one. No mousesports have finally got their issues sorted. Chris J, going to be buying up the orb.
All right then, so jumping back into the action, this is our second game of 4 tonight for the ESL ESEA Pro League. mousesports looking to close in on TSM here, as we do see Chris J now wielding the AWP up against the full rifle buy of TSM. Of course, something that we were not seeing too much of over on their CT side, but now here on the attack, they're going full AK, and it does look like they're looking to try and seize some control of both middle and short.
TSM asking the question of Mouse towards mid, and Mouse have actually left that mostly unattended. They got a couple players in CT, 2 might I add. So that'll be interesting if TSM try to make a move towards there, but Carrigan is on short. We see Chris J now stepping back, getting ready to set up. If that push does come towards him, TSM have taken control. Molotov in towards mid. Nothing to write home about. I don't think TSM really want to traipse over that one at this stage. But you can see Dennis and Mouse, of course, Dennis and Nex, should I say, over at the B side. They're getting a little bit antsy here as TSM now get ready for this push to A.
Oh, great angle from Chris J. Just catches device as he was considering a peek towards Goose. Godby does exactly the same thing, and now TSM have been cut down to size. Cajun B pressuring through mid there. That's very nice. Godby's going to be kicking himself because now there's more to come. Cajun B finally is shut down by Dennis, but the damage most definitely is permanent, and now all onto Zipnix. 1 man left, and there's no hope for him as Dennis seals his fate. And that's going to be another one for mousesports, an important one as well. As you said before, that's going to be closing the gap. They picked up the 3 off the back of the pistol. Then TSM bit back, but now their money's straight back down to the Stone Age, or maybe the Bronze Age, as you're going to see a couple of deagles, but there's very little for TSM in this one.
Great work from Chris J. They're holding on A. Kept it passive, kept himself around the corner after getting that initial pick, moved back towards Goose. He actually didn't see one of the TSM players that already pushed up quite close to him, but all of a sudden TSM were preoccupied with what was happening in CT, so worked in his favour, no doubt about it. Cajun B has their deagle here, no armour whatsoever for TSM here as well, so mousesports now licking their lips, hoping to get themselves another round on the board here, and not being too risky as TSM going for actually, honestly, a fairly similar split. It's Nico gets the better of Carrigan, they're fighting in Longhouse there. Changing my terminology for that one. One more bedroom. It's Chris J already on the pick. With the flick up, doesn't quite get in the kill, but Godby will be able to eat Zipnix up as he does drop down in. Chris J now on towards the device. He's trying to watch the cross, but Dupree manages to take his head off there. It's a mess! It is a mess, but mousesports still prevail in the end, and that's Nico with 3 frags to his name.
That's 10 as well for mousesports now. As I think TSM are going to be forced to quite a few Galils. I'm seeing money. Yeah, it's going to be Device and Carrigan then looking to take the less than ideal route into this round. The same can't be said for Mouse, though, as they're going to have another shot at this one. That was an interesting one for me. We saw like this kind of Nico all-star hold where he's always getting these frags that he probably shouldn't up against TSM, and they try and do the same right back.
So there's aggressive push through Longhouse that really opened things up there for mousesports. Now the buy though, couple Galils here, and Cajun B is able to clean up Dennis with one of them.
Look at that, they overextend. Dennis and Nex, they charge into upper tons, trying to keep pressure applied on the B hole, but never mind. Nico and Chris J are going to be getting the frags they need. Nico on the other end of the map, picking up 2 on long. And that overextension, very aggressive stuff from Mouse, fortunately, has been forgiven by their teammates.
God B. Rather forward positioning here on short. Definitely a bit of confidence about this one. He knows the bomb is there, but so is Device. And I think so is Cajun B as well. Both those players stacked up in a position. God B, great pop flash there to pick up Device. And the bomb down on the ground as well. He's going to smoke that flash that one. He's going to back away. And Cajun B now, well, the net will be closing somewhat as he does sneak up. He wants to take this fight. What a shot towards the head of God B. But Nico will shut him down. Another 3K for Nico in this round. That man is starting to get out of control.
Yeah, that's 6 frames in 2 rounds. 21 overall for him, as he is starting to come alive here on the defensive side. He's like, he's a bit of a roamer though. We've seen him getting a whole lot of frags towards that short, but he's also very, very present towards long. So he's a bit of flexible. He's a rubber band between the two. And he's basically filling the role of 2 players at this point.
TSM now back to pistols. They've only got 1 flash on Zipnix here. Not a lot to work with at all. Mouse getting themselves this reserve at least of rounds. This is going to be quite a close finish at this rate, at least unless TSM fire up towards the end of things. It's a 3-man stack towards that A side of the map here for Mouse. Nico again. We've got B right here. Let's see what they can do. TSM pouring out. Nico picks up Zipnix. And I don't think there's going to be any more challenge there from TSM. Just the 1 player to push through. TSM more concerned about mid. Here comes Dupree. Does get tagged up quite heavily. Looking for a deagle shot. Won't connect.
Yeah, TSM, they were kind of hoping and praying that they could just get an early pick, as that would mean everything in terms of getting that bomb down. Instead, though, Dennis and Next just look to be digging their heels in on B. Dupree is so hungry for just something. And Chris J, knowing he did earlier damage, connects through the wall to finish Dupree off. And hang on a second, Carrigan does manage to catch one without the other. As I don't know what Dennis was necessarily looking at initially. Next was just staring at the doors, and now just Cajun B and Device. Nothing really achieved, excuse me, so far in this round. And just as I say that, Cajun B does take one out of the run.
Got to try for something at this stage, and Device gives us a little bit of flair. As Chris J goes down, but it was also Cajun B to claim a scalp with that deal. The bomb, as is being indicated, is a long way away, and Device only has 2 points of health to rub together. And Dennis will take those away very quickly.
That's nasty. Like, he's like, okay, they're miles away, I've got an AWP. Maybe I'll just have a quick look, and bang, those 2 points of health are no more. So, mousesports, that's a whole load in a row, 4 for them. So far, we've only seen 1 successful T round from the Danish side, Team Solo mid. So let's see if they can mix it up. So far, they have tried a great deal of pressure towards long, and Nico shot that down twice. We saw them go for this kind of pistol short execute. So far, they haven't had too many opportunities with rifles. It looks like they're going to be going towards long again. A lot of smoke, a lot of flashes, and 3 members of Mouse initially showed face at long, and all of them have turned and ran.
That's right, they're getting the heck out of dots now, as they did throw some smokes to cover their retreat. TSM are going to find nothing for this aggressive stack towards long, and Mouse come away with all the information. They know there's a strong presence for TSM there. They're going to sit right back on this one, and now TSM have to poke long and make their way through.
I like that. They chose not to face. Mouse not interested in an early exchange. They are the guys that can just sit. TSM are the ones that have to come to them, and they make that call quite wisely. It does come down, though, to Chris J's hold on long, and no AWP in play for the T side. It's going to be difficult, especially for that player in pit.
Device is in pit, though, and Chris J, I don't think is aware of this at all. I don't think he knows because of all the smoke that came up. He had his back turned, so a quick peek from Device might help, but he's only got an AK in hand as well. No warps at all for Team Solo mid. These long angles could be problematic.
Yeah, Nico in the other side of things is just starting to linger on the side of smoke. Did get caught, but I think he's just going to happily sit this one out. Dupree's there. So is Zipnix if he chose to push through now with one of his own flashes. It looks like he's going to catch one. Oh, straight through the smoke. Dupree's brain is no more. In the meantime, Device did find a second. Nico, hello. Now just 3 for TSM, and they are starting to try and pincer in, but just round by round, Nico starts fragging. That's 3 again for him, and now just Device left. Godby gets in. It's just the magic between the two of them this time, as TSM's attempt at a push through short is demolished.
Poetry in motion right now for mousesports. What a fantastic hold, and they made a clever and correct decision not to take that fight at long. They brought it back, and they're dictating the pace of the game now. They're forcing TSM to play it slow as much as they are as well. You take the teeth away from the dog, and the bite is no more. 2 rounds up for mousesports here. They're getting close. This will be a close finish, but TSM now have the bye. It's still a Galil for Zipnix and Carrigan. They have a little bit of utility. They're going to have to do a lot with it.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It's going to be intriguing to me, especially to see if they can actually forge some sort of assault towards B, because it hasn't been tried. Not once. We saw a couple of kind of sneaky plays just with the P250, but nothing really in the shape of a proper assault.
The only thing we've seen is actually Device asking questions. I think it was of one of the mousesports players in the pistol round. That's it.
Now, actually, this might be it. This could be very well be a mid to B. They are starting to stack up there. So smokes and flashes. This is just what we asked for. And Nex is so blind. How did they not see there's a player behind him? Carrigan finally swings around, trying to find a second. He does. Redeeming features found. as that's going to be the Danes seizing control of B, just what we asked for.
That's right, Carrigan had some kangaroo blood in him there, jumping up on towards that box, made it very hard for him to be hit, and the bomb plant does occur over towards B. Cajun B will sit on that one now. mousesports sticking together as a group. There's still an AWP with them as well. I think they'll save this one though. A 3-gun save for mousesports. Very, very conservative for them. They know they're close to the goal, but they have to hang on.
Yeah, I mean, that's just smart CS, knowing that the chances of a retake up against the 4, especially on B, it's a very difficult site in order to kind of regain control once it's lost. And so you just can see Device going on a hunt. I wouldn't be surprised actually if ChrisJ takes him out of the running if he really does challenge long. No, he doesn't even have his AWP out. He's not interested in anything other than survival at this point. That is going to put 12 on the board for TSM, and the first real attempt, a real kind of blood in the water towards B, and they do manage to pick up a round. Important one here. The second round for Team Solar Mid in this half. It was 10-5 at halftime, and mousesports have managed to pressure them beautifully. 8 rounds for them here. It's been absolutely good. Absolutely good. Absolutely kind of like good. Almost a really emotive thing, and then absolutely good. Brilliant, Mitch. All right, well, who's he? Extraordinarily all right. Yeah. Incredibly decent, you could say. Yeah. Smokes towards mid now, and the bomb is actually in the hands of Cajun B. It looks like they're going to split mid and B right now, as Device and Carrigan are punching their way down, but ChrisJ will be there to meet them. He does see the nade go up. He's going to respond with a Molotov and back up a little bit in towards CT. Actually, Device has managed to immediately just take short for his own. That doesn't mean that it's clear, however, except Mouse. If only TSM had pushed there, and they were so vulnerable. Both ChrisJ and Gobby were kind of just fumbling about in smoke, mid kind of reposition. Now, though, things are going to hit a bit of a standstill. 4 players for TSM around mid. Carrigan actually now, the slower push towards this A. Gobby is flashed up, and he's going to jump straight down in. This is that mid to B, maybe. Carrigan might try and make something happen in CT. He wanted to clear it out if they wanted to head towards B, and he does take down next. Now what? 4v4 situation. Dennis has actually pushed up in towards tunnels. The bomb is so close to him now. He will get one, but there is another TSM player behind him, and that was Device to pick him up. Now, it's a 3v3. The bomb should be going down any second now. Carrigan's going to be the one to make that happen. Carrigan, fantastic play through CT. Managed to reposition all the way back there now. On towards B. With blink and you miss how he did it, and oh dear, Cajun B, good lingering towards middle. It's going to enable him to both get the frag and apply a whole lot of paranoia on the side of Mouse. All onto ChrisJ now, and hang on, he has brought it down to a 1v1, and he's holding it. Cajun B needs to pick up the pace. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, I think he's made it, and he has got his running shoes on. That's 3 for Cajun B in the round. TSM, battered and bruised, just about acquire a much-needed round to keep it level. 13-13 then, going to be the result. And Mouse's money isn't fantastic. No, and after saving 3 guns and they're not getting anything out of it, I think they'll go for a bit of a save round here. No surprise to see ChrisJ go for that AWP, but they really need, I guess that they really need those guns when it counts. Of course, if that match point or that 15th round for Solar Mid were to come up here. Carrigan just got hit through the double doors, courtesy of ChrisJ, providing the damage necessary. I think that's going to be a bit of a potential problem. Could be problematic. Actually, I assumed it was ChrisJ. I'm looking at the map. It does look like it may very well have been the Deagle of Nex. You know what happens when you assume, Mitch? Makes an ass out of you and me. Obviously trying to get up to some monkey business there, but going to work out as Nex just will back up on mid as well. So mousesports, I mean, they are trying to go for something here as well. TSM, look at their health bars. They have been chunked down quite a lot here. But mousesports now need to apply some force to these pressure points. And low health bars are a dream for ChrisJ on a scout. This could get deadly. All right, Zipnix and Cage are the only ones on full health. The rest of TSM are battered and bruised. But will it be enough for mousesports to actually clinch this one out? Let's see what ChrisJ can do. He's up, looking towards that short there on the boost, but TSM are slowly retracting, actually heading over towards that B side. But Dennis and Nex will be lying in wait. And with them, of course, just the pistols here. They have to make sure every shot counts. TSM seem undecided right now. They're looking for a solid opening, something to actually build on in this round. They're going to make their way towards mid. There's Zipnix and, of course, Device around there. They're looking for the smoke towards CT. They're going to make their way across. Got B, though. He's got the boost spot, but TSM are read straight through that. Zipnix prepared for that eventuality. We'll be able to pick him up, and now ChrisJ forced to make a rotate. Dennis did respond nicely. Dennis holding beautifully from B, but there's Zipnix now to shut him down. 2v3. I mean, Mouse, they've got to make something out of us here. Yeah, I think Cajun B's in a prime spot here, and I think we could very well be seeing 2 very dead mice in a second. Just the one, as ChrisJ's quick to respond. Does get himself an AK. He's got a molly as well. That's going to enable him to play a bit of a process of elimination now. Well, I think actually that kind of did not work out, and that's going to cost him his life, as Device can just hold the close angle alongside Zipnix. And TSM, things are starting to go very much their way. So it's going to be 14, and Mouse are going to be probably battling to play for the equalizer here. And you know what?
I think it's been a couple rounds at least since Nico's actually gotten a frag. He had those 3 big rounds, I think, where he got about 8 kills in them. And now, I think in the last 3 rounds, I'm going to extend to saying that he hasn't got a frag here. So the man has gone a bit quiet just when mousesports need him most to close the deal here. Force up for them now again as well. You can see a FAMAS in the mix, but it's not too bad for them generally. Let's see what they can make of it here. Kids on 3 players. As a little bit of damage goes towards Dennis as he's in front of tunnels.
All right then. Going to be seeing a bit of an intriguing stack over from Mouse. They put 3 players deep in towards B. They are anticipating the bomb, and hang on. Carrigan through T-Spawn is about to be making that very delivery. Device was the one trying to keep Nico and God be busy, and it's kind of done exactly what was intended. As we are going to reach that 60-second mark, and Mouse could have a very good read here if TSM continue. I do say that though, things are going to start to rotate back towards middle. No stranger to a mid to B though.
Right. mousesports have done nothing to indicate that this is a stack though, because they don't usually have a strong presence in mid early on these rounds on the CT side, or at least they haven't. God B will normally sit back in CT here, so as far as TSM is concerned, this could be just the default setup.
This is going to be a huge B hit. Cajun B and Carrigan from upper. 3 players pushing mid to B. This is going to be intriguing to see what mousesports can do to deal with it. Not much, as now Dennis is down, and Chris J, look how vulnerable they are. They're just holding hands. What was that? Nex and Chris J just having a tea party over on B, and it's been completely crashed by the Danes. And now it's just going to be Nico and God B. That was a crucial round. They even had the numbers, but their positioning was really, really questionable. It's just going to be then God B and Nico.
I think they were concerned as well about the push coming from CT as well. From a TSM, they might have tried to set up to maybe aggressively push them through the doors, but with a double-pronged attack like that as well, they got completely caught with their pants down. And then Nico and God B just going to sit back on this one as well. You can see that they do want to save these guns. Of course, they have to. Nico...
Oh no.
It might be too late for him to fire now. That was a pop flash for him. He's looking for Zipnix, but he doesn't poke the doorway as well. He could be caught by surprise here. Dupree does signal his own presence there, but there's Device to pick up Nico. And God B now just has to sit in pit and hope to stay alive. They want these guns out of mousesports' hands. They'll stop at nothing to do it, but there's God B. He goes down, and Dupree will get that gun out of his hands. Match point comes up, and mousesports are in a very difficult situation now. Look at that money.
Those 2 rifles were so crucial to try and bring this into overtime, and you can see that TSM have just really pushed where it hurts there. That was so crucial, and we're going to be seeing the scout party brought in. Never doubt Chris J with a scout, though. And now, let's see if mousesports can find 14. If they can, this round could very well dictate mousesports' future, because they could try and claw this one back, but it's not looking likely. 5-7s and armor across the board. They have some nades to delay TSM, but TSM, they can just take this nice and slow and whittle away at whatever Mouse have brought into the fray.
Nico really wants to get involved. You can see him aggressively pushing Longhouse there, looking for that fight like he did when he was on the T side. This could be a struggle here as well. There goes Dennis. Chris J is going to drop down as well. B, it's only Nex on B right now, and he may go down. No, there's a great scout shot. He's got 9 health left. Needs that headshot, but Cajun B is going to steamroll over him now. Nico's managed to take down Zipnix on the far side of the map, but I don't really think that'll have a huge impact on things happening at B now, because it's just got B with, of course, the 5-7 to try and do some work. And Device will shut him down. Nico, the last man standing, has had such a fantastic game, but he's gone cold at the worst possible time, and there it is. Team Solo mid do prevail against mousesports, who honestly did push them quite far.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to close out then 16-13 as I do return to my seats. Yeah, that was swift. But yeah, so that one ends with a bit of a kind of, it felt like we lost Nico towards the end. You made the point, he did stop fragging, but I mean, you can't tell him off. He's sitting at the top of the scoreboard, 25 frags. The absence of frags was coming from God B, but that's no surprise. He is always one of those in-game leaders that kind of sticks to the original idea of an in-game leader, which is someone that does kind of usually have to pay with a loss of frags for that in-game leadership. There are a couple of exceptions currently in the form of Happy primarily, I'm thinking of, but yeah, that's going to be a tough one for Mouse, because they really could have done with that win so far in the Pro League.
Really telling sign as well when we saw God B set out for the mid to B defense against TSM pushing on that one. He went for the box spot in CT, but straight away Zipnix straight to his head. Yeah. He knew exactly what was going to be happening there, and maybe a lack of variation there for him as well. A little bit too predictable, mousesports, but it does seem like they struggle to really close out those rounds if Nico is not doing damage. And TSM read that well. They stopped pressuring long. They stopped pushing on towards A. Their B rounds all all worked really, really well. Even against the 3-stack that Mouse tried to put up, it seemed like there was no response from the Germans.
Yeah, really, really, though, the redeeming feature of this game was just seeing how the double AWP setup from TSM played out. Really just pleasurable to watch. Like, we were just calling it, and the round we even highlighted it, we saw 4 of the 5 frags coming in from those 2 AWPs, Device and Cajun B, just fragging on either ends of the map. So really good stuff from TSM. And we're not done with the Danes just yet. Dignitas were about to be making a show up against Fnatic straight after this. Stay tuned.